Hello, this is Mrs. Hyman. Graph the line that contains Q, -3, 2, and is perpendicular to line TR with T, -1, -2, and R, 2, 7. Well, if we're going to graph a line that's perpendicular to another line, then we need to find the slope of the line that we have first. So for line TR, we're going to have to find the slope. And the formula that we use for slope, we use M, stands for slope. And what we have to do is subtract the y values, so that's y2 minus y sub 1, and in the denominator we subtract the x values. So x sub 2 minus x sub 1. Okay, so let's do that now. We're going to start with 7. We're going to subtract from that -2. And in the denominator, the x's, we'll start with 2 and subtract from that -1. All right, well, let's simplify that a little bit. We know here when we subtract a negative, those both become positive, and the same here. So 7 plus 2 now is 9, and 2 plus 1 is 3, and that can reduce. 9 divided by 3 is 3. So the slope of line TR is 3, and we want a line that's perpendicular to that. And so by definition, if we have this slope from TR that is 3, what would we multiply by to make -1? Because the product of the slopes of two perpendicular lines has to be -1. So we know it has to be negative, because a positive times a negative will give us a negative. And if we multiply 3 times its reciprocal, which is 1/3, that gives us 1. So that means that the slope of the perpendicular line we want is going to be -1/3. So the slope that we're going to use, -1/3, and the point that they gave us, point Q, -3, 2, we're going to use these two things to graph our perpendicular line. We're also going to graph line TR using the two original points, and that way we can see that the two lines are perpendicular. So let's start with our line here, where we have the point Q, -3, 2. So that's where we begin by plotting that point. So we're going to go 3 to the left and up 2. And that's point Q. And then we're going to use the slope. And the way that we use the slope, since it is a negative, we're going to go down 1, and then we're going to go to the right 3. Down 1 is a negative, 3 to the right is a positive. So from point Q, we go down 1, and then 1, 2, 3 to the right. And we plot a second point. Now we're going to connect those two and make our line. And since we do have a line, we should put arrows at the end. Okay, now we're going to plot the line TR. So we have the point T is -1, -2. So that means we go 1 to the left and 2 down. That's point T. And point R is 2, 7. So we're going to go 2 to the right and up 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And that's point R. And now we can connect those 2 points for our second line. And again, we'll put arrows at the end. So here's the line that we found with the point Q. This was our original line TR, and you can see that they are perpendicular because they do make right angles where they intersect.